After the Turkish annexation of northern Cyprus in 1974, this island became split between a Turkish-controlled republic in the north and an EU Greek-speaking side in the south. For the most part, it was a fairly even split, and apart from the capital, most cities fell on either one side or the other. All except for a handful of small villages, which fell right in the middle of the line of fire. Today, these villages fall inside the UN-controlled green zone. Now we're here today in Larnaca, in Greek-speaking Cyprus. We're going to get a bus to one of these green zones today. Let's go. Yeah, we're just getting the bus over here to Pila. This is the closest and first of the three villages. Okay, so here we go. I can't believe it. Hello, Kalimera. Yeah. We've made it onto the bus to Pila. If only it was always that easy to get a bus into where I want to go to. I literally just walked into the bus station and here it was. Over here we have a statue of Makarios the third. Is it Makarios the third? He was the back in the day the leader of Cyprus. It was quite interesting. He was basically this Greek Orthodox priest who just became like a political leader in the country, and he's still very celebrated on the Greek-speaking side as this kind of great leader. You see statues of him everywhere, and places are named after him. You have like Makarios Station and stuff like that. But obviously he's a bit of a controversial figure for a lot of Cypriots, particularly Turkish Cypriots, because he was a Greek Orthodox leader, and a lot of the Cypriots especially on the Turkish side, are Muslims, Sunni Muslims. So it was a bit divisive to have such an ostensibly Christian leader running this very religiously diverse country. Just being held up here. Bus drivers arguing in Greek. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so apparently this is Pila. Yeah, I'm rather disappointed. I thought we were going to cross over a checkpoint. I was going to get my passport checks and stuff, but I'm not. Excuse me, is this Pila? This is Pila. Okay, fantastic. Okay, well here we are. Here we are in the United Nations Green Zone. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. Bought my passport and everything. Thought I was going to be, cross-examined, questions, have my fingerprints taken down, but yeah, they're pretty relaxed about this. Clearly, but officially this is UN territory. We're not in Cyprus anymore. We're in this kind of weird no man's land. So yeah, let's just take a look around. Looks pretty barren. This part that I've arrived at, some junk's just kind of piled up there. Well, anyway, I'm quite peckish, so I am gonna try and get some food somewhere in this mysterious border town. See if anything's happening here, and then if not, try and get a bus or maybe a taxi across to the other towns. Look over here, we've got a Orthodox Church. Let's see if we're allowed inside. But yeah, this is what an Eastern Orthodox Church looks like, guys. As you can see, very different from a Protestant or a Catholic church. Got a lot of icons. This is a big part of the Eastern Orthodox worship. We've got some writing there in what looks like Old Church Slavonic or something. I think this is Mary. And then we've got a bunch of saints and stuff over here. Obviously, for a lot of Protestants, this kind of worship style of having lots of pictures of not just saints, but of God himself, Jesus Christ, is seen as being a bit sort of idolatrous. You know, they don't. It's not really very well admired doing this in the Protestant faith, especially if you're more Calvinist, more sort of you're a Presbyterian or something like that. But it's a very fundamental part of the Eastern Orthodox tradition. Anyway, there you go. Well, that was very interesting. Must say, it was a tiny church. I couldn't believe how small it was. Goodbye, Aya Marinas Ecclesia. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I know it was a village, but Pila is not saying much. It is pretty small. Not much going on. What I really need to do is find somewhere with some Wi-Fi so I can look up where we are exactly. But I think the chances of that are quite slim. And you can see over here there are some developments for new builds, new houses being built here in Pilas. So if you like what you see, this could be yours. It's funny, I know we're in a sunny country and it's not very typical for someone to say this, but this does feel a bit depressing. You know, I feel a bit flat. There's not much going on here. It's a little dull being here. Now let's see if the bike stop is open. The only restaurant in town. Let's see if it's open. Wow, this looks rather nice. Well, there's just this nice kind of indoor area over here. There's a little menu of what's on offer over there. It's rather nice. So I've just been given this. There's something they do in Cyprus quite a lot where they have they give you a little bit of pickle and gherkins with your sandwich. So I got some as well. The guy said have them, but be careful because they're very hot. So yeah, we'll see.
So you're making a YouTube program about Cyprus, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Are you doing it for a project of some type or for a university or something?
Just personal.
Oh, just your
personal projects, yeah.
You have any links to Cyprus?
Not really.
Oh.
I was just interested in the kind of like the situation here with the Turkish Cypriot side and the Greek Cypriot side. So yeah.
Well, this village is the only village in the whole of Cyprus that's from mixed communities. Greek Cypriots, Turkish Cypriots. You see? So if you, when you add that into your
I will.
program,
That's a great start.
interesting.
So I was just talking to the owner of this restaurant, and he said something quite interesting to me. He said that this village is the only place in Cyprus where Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots live side by side. Everywhere else is either just Greek Cypriot or just Turkish Cypriot. And indeed, I've seen that for myself, like being here, there's a very strong presence of either one or the other. But maybe partly because of this being in a border zone, you know, in the UN demilitarized zone, there wasn't the same splitting between the two regimes. And so the Greek Cypriots lived here and the Turkish Cypriots lived here, just kind of kept living side by side. And it's very beautiful to see.
Benim borcu içeride kalsın.
I just had
100-200
one of
kalsın.
the
Tarafta kalsın 100.
chilies.
Öbüründe kalsın 100.
I was not prepared for how spicy that was.
Sana 200 lira verecek bu hafta. Your rice is talking.
Yeah, I thought I could hack it, but thank you, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, that was the pit stop restaurants in UN-controlled Cyprus. I'm gonna try and get a taxi here. and head off to the next border town. God, my mouth is still on fire after that chili. It really was quite strong. Bloody hell. Now this over here is quite interesting. You can see we've got a sign in saying, oh, there are road humps on the road. And I've got it in Greek and in Turkish. And you might think, well, of course, you know, isn't that the whole thing, that there are two languages here? But that is the only sign I've seen pretty much in this whole island where it's both in Turkish and in Greek. Everywhere else it's just been in Greek or Turkish. And that must be because this is a slightly different atmosphere over here. You know, the Greek side doesn't have jurisdiction over here, and the Turkish side doesn't have jurisdiction over here. So the communities who lived here haven't been torn apart in quite the same way that they have been in, say, North Nicosia and South Nicosia, or in Famagusta. Over here we've got the local park. It's looking a bit empty at the moment, but see, you've got a swing, a little, what would you even call this? I don't know. Little Cypriot roundabout thingy, and clearly there's a bit of a hangout zone for a little smoking sesh and some Monster energy drinks. Over here we've got another sign in both Turkish and Greek. At the top it says Skoleo, which is obviously the Greek for school, and then we've got Okul, which is the Turkish for school. So clearly that's confirmed in my mind that there's a bit of a pattern going on here. Well, it turns out the old Bila has got quite a lot to show for itself. Didn't even realise it had all of this down here. Now, it is very quiet and no one's about, but yeah, there's actually a lot more to see. I also spotted a Orthodox Church a bit further down, so we're going to check that out as well. Over here, we've got the Bila Village Resort. Obviously, this is kind of a small provincial village, but it is a bit of a tourist resort as well. People do come here, rent one of these houses here in the idyllic paradise of Pila. Well, there are many things that I was expecting to see here in Pila. You know, I thought we'd find a little place for lunch, maybe some coffee shops, see a few holiday homes on sale and stuff like that. But one thing that I wasn't expecting to see was the University of Central Lancashire campus. How weird. There is a campus for a British university here in UN Cyprus. That is very strange. Doesn't look like anyone's in today. It is a Saturday, so fair enough, but yeah, isn't that strange? Anyway. Well, let's see if the church is open. Here is someone who us Brits might recognise. It says, "O Aios Yorios," King, not King, Saint George. Now let's see if we're allowed inside. Yeah, St George's Church is closed for business. Well, here I've got signs to the International Barber Shop. Wonder what makes something an international barber shop. Let's go down here and see what's going on. There's also a mosque here as well, which looks quite interesting. I've not seen anywhere in Cyprus to have both a mosque and a church in the same town, because after this war, you know, basically if you were a minority in a Greek area, if you're or vice versa, if you're a minority in a Turkish area, you just go to your respective regions. So all the mosques that were in use have now been gotten rid of, and vice versa in the Turkish part, all the Orthodox churches have been got rid of. Here's the International Barber.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. You?
You're good. Very well. Yes. Exploring your beautiful town.
Huh?
Exploring your beautiful town.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. How a nice day. Just up there in the distance, you can see there is, just on top of that hill, there is a massive sort of thing coming up, and there's a long wall coming along, and I think, I'm not certain, but I think that is the Turkish Cypriot side over there. Now let's see if this mosque is open. Let's hope I get into less trouble than I got in the last one. Obviously in Islam, it's the custom to take your shoes off before you go into the mosque. Let's have a look. Ah, how strange. Mosque is shut as well. Closed for business. Got to put my shoes back on now. So just because I've got the place to myself, over here you see there are some taps. In Islam, they practice something called wudu, which is basically sort of ritual cleaning of the body that you do before salah, before the prayer. It's sort of important to be clean before you meet God in sort of Islamic thoughts. They do have some of these in Orthodox churches as well. It is practiced in some forms of Christianity as well. Obviously in, you know, the Western tradition of Catholicism and Protestantism, we've sort of done away with a lot of this cultural stuff, but in Islam it's a very big priority. So every mosque you'll go to, even if it's somewhere like the UK, will typically have a little place to clean yourself. Over here we've got a little sort of city centre for ourselves. Look at this, wow. Some restaurants, little Greek place over here. And what's quite interesting about this is we have a UN flag flying. This is, of course, UN territory. So they do have UN flags about. Well, I've got to say, Pila is the gift that just keeps giving. Every street I go down, there's just another restaurant. I literally thought we had found the only restaurants in the city, but it turns out there's a lot more to Pila than initially meets the eye. Quite a built up area with a lot of businesses. Yeah, I'd rather like to stay, to be honest. Get the nearest hotel. Who knows, maybe even settle down here, find a nice Turkish Cypriot wife for myself. Yeah, just settle here on the UN controls Cyprus. Right, well, I guess I sit my ass down over here and try these numbers, see what happens. If not gonna lie, might be a hitchhike. Might have to hitchhike because I don't see myself getting back to Larnaca in time. Which I don't really want to do. I've never really hitchhiked before. Okay, Taxi Mustafa. Please call, please call, please call. Hello? Is this Taxi Mustafa? Is it possible to book a taxi for now from Pila to Truly? Yes. So I'm just using this brief period of peace and quiet to charge up my phone here in this British plug socket in this provincial cafe. We're still in Pila. We have not made it out of this godforsaken town, but this looks like quite an interesting place because everyone seems to be English. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I wonder what the story is there, but yeah, I'm just gonna get a beer, chill out here, and then head back to the stop, and hopefully someone will come and pick me up. I have a slight hunch that something's got lost in translation and I'm going to be in the wrong place, but we'll have to see. Okay, well that was a very refreshing half pint of Turkish lager at the corner cafe and bar. Interesting, everyone in there pretty much was British, and I had a little chat to them about like, you know, what they were doing there, and it turns out they just lived here. They lived out here in Cyprus. One of them lived in Kyrenia in the Turkish side, and then one of them just lived in one of the villages nearby. And I asked them why they moved, and they just said, well, it's because the UK is just a shithole now, to put it bluntly. And yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, it shows how people feel about the UK, that so many people are starting to move out to places like Cyprus. Obviously you have a lot of people in the UK who retire to places like Spain and whatever else, so it's maybe part of a sort of growing trend, but it's rather sad that that's how people, my countrymen, feel about the country, that it's, you know, times are really difficult in the UK at the moment, and some people are literally just going like, well, that's enough, you know, I'm finished, I'm out of here, and then just relocate to somewhere here, just this really remote part of Cyprus. Would you do that if you were from the UK? Do you think things are that bad in the country at the moment? Right, well, we're back at the Paradise Sports place. Let's see if my car is gonna arrive. I'm gonna be swept away to Troy Lee.